What do I know about communicating and mental health? What qualifies me to speak about communicating and mental health? When I joined the military, I really didn't know much about anything. 94, 30 years ago. Though I've come to learn a little bit about high stakes comms, stress management, and everything from PTSD, extreme trauma, to shell shock. And the treatment of those and so that's what I'm here to talk about. Now, I might sound crazy with traffic in the background, walking on the side of the road with traffic next to me. Though I'm on a mission, several missions. One of my missions is to improve how people, society communicates, and simultaneously within that, treatment of extreme trauma and severe illness. So my experience, my struggles, what I've seen others struggling with, I think what I've seen others struggling with counts as experience. I've experienced others struggling from, I might say, is it stupid of me to say that I've seen it firsthand from a first-person perspective, which leads me into to talk about my struggles while I was homeless. Though I would say, I'm going to sound arrogant and say I was not homeless of my own doing. Instead, by choice, to choose this mission. So I got to see firsthand, from a first-person perspective, what other homeless were struggling with. And so, being a former soldier, I'd confuse things by saying that I was professionally homeless, meaning I dressed in a suit, I looked like a professional, I fooled everybody, not intentionally, just but I needed to push forward with my mission, which required me to look professional. So I dressed in the suit, kept a clean cut, haircut, like I was taught in the military. And so business folks, lawyers, judges, bankers had a hard time understanding that I was homeless, accepting or believing that I was homeless. Another homeless didn't beg me for money, beg me for food. I don't know what examples to give of professionals being fooled unintentionally, because I didn't look the part. But the clearest example of somebody not realizing, accepting, believing, understanding that I was homeless was some of the homeless themselves. They'd see me in a suit, ask me for money, and I'd say, the shelter or the soup kitchen served this or that for breakfast or lunch or supper. I didn't have any more money than they did. In fact, I often got less money than the homeless because I wasn't allowed a welfare check, whereas many of the homeless do get a welfare check. I don't know how long I went without any money. Years without any real money, except handouts. I did get lots of handouts. And there's problems with that, where some people would give handouts not to help me. Some people would give handouts to make themselves look good or to make themselves feel good. So when another homeless person sees that, they know who's genuine and who's not. I didn't turn down help for a long time. Years I didn't turn down help from somebody, even if they were doing it for selfish reasons. And that changed January 2017. I'd been so injured by acts of kindness. I'd been treated like dirt so long that any act of kindness made me cry all day long. And those injuries, to being treated with compassion, evolved I don't know the exact time frame. So I'm gonna say a year, about a year. From the 1st of August 2015, I cried all day long, every day, because people were nice to me. It took me 9 months to figure that out. that it was acts of kindness that would make me cry all day long. Walking down the street, in appointments, waiting for the next appointment. From the time I woke up to the time I fell asleep, I would cry because of acts of kindness. And so what happened at a year is, and it wasn't exactly a year when this incident happened, though it was about a week or two before the year anniversary, and it took me a couple of weeks to process it. And it was within that time frame that I no longer cried every day, because I was traumatized by somebody similarly was nice to me. She initially didn't understand that I'd been crying every day since the 1st of August. She said, well, that can't be. She said, that's like next week. No, I didn't say anything. I was just in awe and shock myself. And then her jaw dropped when she comprehended the significance. And that traumatized me. That was a trauma anniversary. I had about 5 trauma anniversaries every year for several years until I'd recovered from that trauma. So the trauma anniversaries eventually ended. I think they've all, maybe I still have a trauma anniversary or 2, though they don't come to mind. So so the disbelief is one reason I'm working to improve how we communicate, to help others hear and understand what we say. And I got truck parts to chase, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I don't know how to do a recap, though I'm certain I feel I have to ask everybody to comment down below to help each other to find innovators and early adopters to encourage, to talk about some of this stuff, to encourage the majority. We can improve together, especially it's important to have innovators and early adopters to find this better information, to talk about this better information, which it's innovators and early adopters will encourage the early majority. Thanks. I think that's a positive note to end on. Seems like it. Have a good day.